The words of my mouth, the meditations of my heart, be acceptable before you, O God, my rock and my Redeemer. Oh, say shalom bimroma, Huya, say shalom aleinu, L'cho Yisrael, L'cho Yoshvei Tevel, Amen.
Tonight, in lieu of a sermon, I thought that we would read the theme of the week. Now, we used to actually use the weekly themes quite a lot, but we've kind of gotten away from that over the last few years. Some of them are really lovely, and some of them are a bit, well, you know, okay. I mean, the editors of the prayer book worked really hard to try to find something for each Torah reading, and some of them are just exquisite. And I very much like the one for this week's Torah reading, which we'll find on page 188, Jewish Identity. So we can find 188. 188. Yeah, 188. Are we all there?
Jewish identity.
Yes, Jewish identity. Who is a Jew? What makes a Jew a Jew? A Jew is a member of a people with an extraordinary history, both of suffering and of achievement. A Jew is a product of that history and derives from it a sense of kinship with other Jews. Even when two Jews meet for the first time, a vague consciousness of having met before is stirred in each. Memory cannot with any definiteness specify or describe the time, place, or nature of the earlier association. But that there has been such an association seems assured. It may have been at Sinai, where, according to tradition, all the unborn souls of all the children of Israel were assembled, and that includes all of those who later joined and became Jewish. It's an interesting little tradition. And we're going to be reading this responsively, so this bit is yours, not only. With those who are standing here with us today.
Before the Eternal One, our God. And
Also those who are not with us today. All through the ages, we have held fast to our sense of covenant, of feeling bound to God in a special relationship that has given meaning to our existence. Because of it and for its sake, we have suffered in its name, and by its power, we have made our distinctive contributions to civilization. And when Jews think or speak in other terms, they yet show a concern with ultimate value, caring for truth and justice, freedom and peace. We are impatient with the world as it is and feel an urge to make it better, even when we reject it. Religion is embedded in our consciousness. Like Jacob, we wrestle with our Creator. Like Jonah, even if we try, we cannot escape the gravitational pull of a sacred obligation undertaken long ago. This is the parasha where Jacob gets a new name. So your name shall no longer be Jacob, but Israel, because you have striven with God and with humans and have prevailed.
I am a Hebrew, and I worship the Eternal One, the God of heaven, who made both sea and land.
We are a people that dwells apart and is not reckoned among the nations.
A stiff-necked people, foolish and unwise.
But the people I formed for myself, that they might declare my praise.
a people who evening and morning, twice every day, with love, proclaim God's unity.
This very first bit about struggling with God. I used to participate in something called Scriptural Reasoning, where people from different religions would get together, different faith traditions. So Muslims, all sorts of different things, Christians. There were a lot of various different Hindus, lots of different religions. And every time we used this and talked about struggling with God, about wrestling with God, about arguing with God, it was always such a surprise to most of the other religions that kind of went, oh no, we don't wrestle with God, we don't argue with God, no, we just do it. So I particularly, I like this phrasing because it reminds us that we are Israel, the people who wrestle, who struggle with God and with Torah, and that's our duty. We're God's guiding hand most clearly when we look back, or we see God's guiding hand most clearly when we look back on the history of our people, delivered from Egyptian bondage, bound to God by the covenant at Sinai, inspired by prophets, and instructed by sages. We survived oppression and exile, overcoming time and again the forces that would have destroyed us.
We were beset by the weaknesses and faults common to all humanity. Yet it has been our glory to testify to the unity of God, to hold up before the world an example of courage, and to keep alive in dark ages a vision of humaneness and harmony. I am a Jew because the faith of Israel demands of me no abdication of the mind. I am a Jew because the faith of Israel requires of me all the devotion of my heart.
I am a Jew because in every place where suffering weeps, the Jew weeps.
I am a Jew because at every time when despair cries out, the Jew hopes.
I am a Jew because the word of Israel is the oldest and the newest.
I am a Jew because the promise of Israel is the universal promise.
I am a Jew because for Israel the world is not yet completed. Human beings are completing it.
I am a Jew because for Israel humanity is not created. Human beings are creating it.
I am a Jew because above the nations in Israel, Israel places humanity and its unity.
I am a Jew because above humanity, image of the divine unity, Israel places the divine unity and its divinity. To open eyes when others close them, to hear when others do not wish to listen, to look when others turn away, to seek to understand when others give up, to rouse oneself when others accept, to continue the struggle even when one is not the strongest, to cry out when others keep silent. To be a Jew is that. It is first of all that, and further, to live when others are dead, and to remember when others have forgotten. Let us not ask ourselves only who is a Jew. Let us ask ourselves who is a good Jew. A good Jew is one in whose life being Jewish is a constant influence for good. God of our
ancestors, teach us to be worthy of the name of Jew.
May no act of ours disgrace it. May all that we do redound to the honour of our faith and to your glory. Give us an understanding heart, so that we may feel how great is our responsibility as members of the Jewish people.
Grant guidance and strength to the whole house of Israel, so that inspired by our common faith and united by our common task, we may serve our fellow men and women in your name and be a source of blessing to humanity.
And it's time to get your shakers, your rattlers and rollers out again. Ashrenu, Matov, 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 Elkeinu. Ashrenu, Matov, 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 Elkeinu. Manayim, Goraleinu. Manayim, Goraleinu. Manayim, Goraleinu. Manayim, Goraleinu. Umayafa, Mayafa, 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 Mayafa. Yerushatenu, Ashreinu, Mayafa, 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 Yerushatenu, Ashreinu.
We continue now with "And Then" on page 213 to the tune that, of course, Rebecca has composed.
Page 213.
This is, of course, the part of the service when we look forward to that time that we do hope to bring about, when there will be peace and harmony. And as we've just talked about, part of our life and our goals and our obligations is to help to bring that world about.
And then all that's divided us will merge. And then compassion will be wedded to part. And then softness will come to a world that is harsh and unkind. And then men and women will be gentle. And then both women and men will be strong. And then no person will be subject to another's will. And then all will be rich and free and varied. And then the greed of some will give way to the needs of many. And then so will share equally in the earth's abundance. And then all will care for the sick and the weak and the old. And then all will nourish the young. And then all will cherish life's creatures. And then all will live in harmony with each other and the earth. And then everywhere will be called Eden once again.
We come now to the part of our service where we prepare to say the Kaddish. And I want to start by actually noting that tomorrow, so for us tomorrow starts tonight, so tonight is actually the beginning of Transgender Day of Remembrance. And I remember a number of years ago, well, not that